We are the Dwarves!
Hej, siemanko wam wszystkim, witam was bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku z gry The Dwarves. I tym razem... mam nadzieję, że już bez takiego rage'a. Mam nadzieję. O jak kurde znowu wybuchnę, to będzie słaba. Walkenstein. Tawerna. Można by było spróbować, tym bardziej, że... Halo, kurde, przesunąć chcę. Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery... 5, 6, 7. Może nam troszeczkę zabraknąć jedzenia. W tawernie moglibyśmy to nadrobić, chociaż zobaczymy, co nas czeka po drodze.
path lies ahead of you, down into the valley and then up into the snow-covered mountains. It will be difficult, if not impossible, to climb back afterwards. You should be sure that you've made all the necessary preparations before you continue.
Oho. Przygotujmy się. Pójdźmy do
A
tawerny.
heated discussion about Giralda breaks out over dinner, invoked by Boindil.
Scholar, I really have to say, we should never have let her get away. She is much too dangerous. Maybe she's still following us and is planning to stab us in her sleep.
A couple of days ago, we wanted to murder Thungdil and the others in a state of madness. Should we just go too?
I have to agree with Boindil. She is dangerous. We should have got rid of her when we had the chance.
Despite everything that's happened, she is a dwarf. It was an unfortunate misunderstanding.
If there is ever another misunderstanding, I'll introduce her to my two little friends.
Boindil raps against his axes pointedly, and with that, to him, the
No
discussion...
dobrze, że nie chodziło o kutasa. No to by było naprawdę złe. Dobra, tutaj.
A two-story tavern sits on the corner of a crossroads. The snow around the building has been cleared away, and a warm light is coming from
O,
inside.
potrzebujemy w pizdu
The sign
jedzenia.
above the door reads Minstrel Castle.
Minstrel Castle? That sounds promising.
The old building has nothing in common with a castle. It seems rather nondescript. A simple tavern for simple people.
Czyli będziemy pasować tu idealnie.
Finally! Time for ale! My throat is completely parched!
As much as I hate agreeing with you, I too can hardly wait.
You enter the tavern with Bavragor and Boindil in front. On first impression, the interior is as inconspicuous as the outside. But when you take a closer look, you spot a couple of paintings of minstrels in front of a castle, a small stage that, judging by the dust, is only very rarely used, and a lute hanging on the wall behind the bar.
O,
There
może
are not
sprzedam
very
moją
many
lutnię.
guests on the ground floor, perhaps a dozen, and most of them belong to a group of mercenaries who have retreated into the far corner. You sit at a table, and after a while you are brought the ale that Boindil has ordered.
O. No
You
podejdźmy.
go to the bar where the landlady is working and sit on a stool. The landlady, a stout, middle-aged woman with long hair, tied in a ponytail, looks up briefly, but says nothing.
Say, why is the tavern called Minstrel Castle? It doesn't look much like a castle.
Oh, you don't know the legend, dwarf.
One of the guests next to you at the bar takes up your question.
There was a castle here once. No one knows its name anymore, so everyone just calls it Minstrel Castle. Once upon a time a king lived in that castle. He had many subjects and an enchanting queen. But one day a young minstrel came along and sang of wonderful far-off lands, and the subjects began to complain about their own lives. So the king sent for the singer to hear for himself. He came and sang a wonderful love song, and the king began to be scared. He thought that the minstrel wanted to steal away his queen. Without flinching, he drew his sword and struck the boy down. His father heard of this. He was himself a singer, and so he went to the king and played a terrible song, a curse. The king was to vanish in silence, and no one was to remember his name.
And that's what happened. No one remembers the name of the king or his castle. Make of it what you will. The story's certainly well known enough in the area to give Arin its name.
Pokaż mi co masz. Oh yeah, o. To jest monoformy. Daje 50% szans na zmniejszenie otrzymywanych obrażeń o 80. To jest drogie, wpis diet. Wolę to. Po prostu za zapasy. Bo, a kto wie. Bierzemy wszystko co mają. Skoro 10 dni, to 80 przynajmniej. Dobra. Czy ja chcę ten amulet siły, bo no, wygląda ciekawie, tylko zwiększa wrażenia zwykłych ataków o 100%. Z tymi zwykłymi atakami to my najczęściej chuja robimy. Więc nie wiem, czy to ma jakikolwiek sens. Przywraca dużą liczbę punktów zdrowia. No, może wszystkich. No whatever. Dobra, to nie wiem, czy jest sens w ogóle tu brać. Ja bym się tego pozbył. A lutnia? No, niech będzie. Okej, nie potrzebuję tego. Mam jeszcze wpis dziet tych rzeczy. Okej. To. Okej. No i wystarczy to. Z lutni się pewnie ucieszą. Wróć do pozostałych.
You nod at the landlady as you slip off the bar stool, and she nods back.
Opuść tawernykę.
Bafragor and Boindil, who are absorbed in a drinking competition, have to be practically dragged out of the tavern. But in the end, you are able to continue your journey.
Fajnie. Mamy teraz dużo zapasów.
You arrive at an empty jetty on Lake Anteria. You can see several fishing boats on the lake, and there's a small village on the other shore.
Ah, Polbrook. What an idyllic little place. And then there's the miller's daughter.
Pewnie wyruchał.
Hey there. Would you be able to ferry us over to the other side?
At first, you think the fisherman
Ale ja nie wiem,
hasn't
czy ja
heard you,
chcę.
but then he turns around and heads towards the shore. When the boat has almost reached you, the fisherman calls back.
Dwarves, are you lost? Oh well, whatever. I am Samuel. If you wish to cross, it'll cost you. Food for 10 days or 20 gold, whichever you prefer.
Aha. No dobra, masz tu 20
You
sztuk
give
złota.
Samuel the gold, and after a long discussion with the dwarves in the group, you follow him onto the boat. The dwarves literally leap out of the boat as soon as you reach dry land.
We could have
Okay.
died. I hope it was worthwhile, scholar.
Aha. Ale... No fajnie. Ja nie chciałem w dupie.
As on the previous evening, Bafragor sits apart from the others. But tonight, he waves you over.
Smeralda, my sister. You want to know what happened, right?
You nod and sit down.
She followed Boindil into battle. We tried to talk her out of it, but she was as unyielding as a mountain. Then came the day when the High Pass was attacked.
Bafragor drinks from his liquor.
He killed her. Blinded by the frenzy of battle, he thought she was one of the enemy. I can never forgive him. He killed my sister. Could you?
You inevitably remember the loss of Lot Yonan, Frala, and her children. You remain sitting in silence, each of you deep in thought. Boendal approaches, having either heard you or guessing what you were talking about.
His fierce life forge is a curse. He thought the orcs had robbed him of his love, and the ire came over him. Sometimes he calls her name in his dreams. Oh, he'd never admit it, but he suffers just like Bavragor. He too loved her.
The stonemason doesn't react, so you and Boendal go back to the others by the fire.
Wróćmy.
The fishing village seems as busy as ever. Samuel...
Tak, przewieź nas, I don't care. Dobra. Spieprzamy, idziemy dalej. O, wejdź do
You
tawerny.
enter the town.
Dobra, z gospodynią. Jeszcze może do zaoferowania. Więcej jedzenia. Nie macie więcej. Dobra, anuluj. Do pozostałych, opuść tawernę. Myk, myk, myk. Jeszcze moglibyśmy tutaj spróbować. Raz. Moment, będzie. Raz, dwa, trzy. Raz, dwa, trzy. Tylko, że stąd obóz orków. Będzie raz, chyba, że tam w ogóle nie mogę. Starczy mi? Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery. Raz, dwa, trzy. O, w pizdu. Dobra, nie wiem. Przez to, że mamy tylu tych gnojów, to nie wiem, czy mi starczy tego wszystkiego. Okej. No teraz powinno bez problemu starczyć. Tak, 10 dni marszu. Ruszamy. Tu.
You reach a large frozen lake surrounded by a thick pine forest. The quickest way would be to walk straight over the ice, but you don't know how stable it is. The detour through the forest would be safer, but would also take much longer.
O, przejść las, by się
The
działo.
snow between the trees is deep, and you make very slow progress. The shadows are growing longer, and when you finally make it through the woods, it's already the dead of night.
Perhaps we should set up camp here before we wind up getting lost.
Rozbij obóz
It
na
makes
nas.
more sense to set up camp for the night than to wander through the woods in the dark. You light a huge fire, and the next morning you set off again, fully rested. While you rest under a ledge at noon, Rodario and Fergus decide to go ice fishing, and the dwarves immediately pronounce their opposition.
Ice and water are both treacherous. They entice you to them. Before you know it, you disappear into them forever.
Like in a marriage, you mean? At first the woman entices you, but if you stay in her arms like a good boy, the good life is over all too quickly.
The good life, in which you go behind the backs of other men, get beaten up and one day die painfully of a sexually transmitted disease.
All slander, my dear.
Rodario bares his teeth for a moment, and then follows Fergus to the shore.
He reminds me of a billy goat we used to have. Mounted everything that got in its way. One day, he mounted a goat that was standing too close to a cliff. The two of them fell down the cliff in the best of spirits.
Ja pierdolę. Jajebix. Co za debile.
It snows all day, and the cold wind continues to get stronger. The dwarves trudge stubbornly on, but at some point Fergus can take it no longer.
Oh, we are walking right into the eye of a blizzard. We have snowstorms in the Brown Range too. If you get caught in a storm while hunting, you simply wait it out in a snow cave.
The blizzard will be on us before we can build a snow cave. We should look for a sheltered spot and light a fire.
O. Kurczę. Spróbujmy z tą... Ale to może być długa zamieć, więc poszukajmy
Instead of
schronienia.
looking for a shelter, you simply go to some crags nearby and shovel up some snow on the sides to make a windbreak. You feel better almost as soon as you leave the biting wind. Fergus lights an alchemic fire, and the closeness of your companions ensures a reasonably warm night. By the next morning, the blizzard has blown over and you set off on your way again.
Też dobrze. Okay.
Your path leads you over a snowy, hilly plain, and as you scale a particularly steep hill, you falter. A crevasse opens out in front of you. You look around, but there isn't any point nearby where you could cross over the gap.
Do wąwozu?
You follow the course of the crevasse. After an hour, the end of the crevasse is still not in sight. However, you do find a cave that slopes down softly parallel to the crevasse. You were afraid that you might get lost in the ice cave and freeze to death in misery. But ultimately, your curiosity is rewarded. You find after an hour's search a winding passage that leads you to a large chamber. You walk ahead with your torch outstretched and see a shadow in the ice. You step backwards in shock as you realize that it's the body of a frozen human. Something glittering in the floor grabs Goimgar's attention. An ornamented gold shield. Part of it is frozen into the ice, but it should be easy to free.
Pure gold! This thing must be worth quite a bit, though it would be completely useless in a fight.
Wouldn't that be like tomb raiding?
Your companion doesn't answer. You allow Goimgar to free the shield from its icy prison. After you've had a look around the rest of the chamber and taken a short break, you look for a way back up to the surface. You are able to continue on your way without any further delay.
Fajnie. Pokaż mnie to. 500 gold. No to dobry był deal. I udaj się do muru twierdzy pierwszych. O!
You
Jesteśmy.
finally arrive at the entrance to a valley that curves its way towards Ironhold, the firstling stronghold.
Dobra, zobaczymy co nas czeka w twierdzy pierwszych. Bardzo jestem ciekaw, jak to będą nastawieni krasnoludzie. Krasnoludowie. Jakie nastawienie będą miały te krasnoludy? Czy może też będą chciały nas zrobić w chuja?
By Vracus, we've done it!
O nie!
Get down!
Up there!
Syn to raz.
Run! I can't maintain the spell for long!
Put him on Goimgar's shield. To the gate. Quick!
O, w pizdu, no nie! No nie on! No to ci nie zjeżdżaj na bracie! Nikt nie lubi urwanych wątków, ale demo beta musi się kiedyś skończyć. Dziękujemy za grę, twoja krasnoludzka drużyna. Nie! Dobra, 20... No, już w dzień premiery będzie całość, więc... W dzień premiery zacznę nagrywać dalej. Trzymajcie się, do zobaczenia i cześć.